105. We have our anniversary tonight. 2 years of Startup TNT. We've got all 5 alumni with us from the last investment summit we did in the fall that all raised money at the summit. And shout out to Golly and Brandon that just put together that amazing intro for us. Really cool slide deck. Thanks so much. Just surprised us all with that. Didn't even know you guys were doing that. Listen, we got our spring summit going on right now. I just got back from an investor meeting. Lots of good conversations happening. I know there's a new crop of really awesome companies from the community. They're going to be raising money in June. But this is absolutely one of my favorite evenings where we invite our alumni back. We get to hear the update on what they're up to. This is Startup TNT. Every single week, we're having fun, hanging out, making friends, building companies with local entrepreneurs. So, who's kicking us off today? It's Liz from Arolytics. Liz, how are you feeling? Are you ready to do this?
Zach, I'm so ready for this. Thanks for having us.
All right, let's kick it off. What's going on at Arolytics? We're gonna do this like proper pitch style. I'm gonna put the timer on. Let's do it.
Okay. Oh gosh. So let me just share my screen, and I would love to give a quick update for everyone. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. Is that
looking good?
Perfect. Okay, so I did just want to give a really quick background on our company for those who have no idea what Arolytics is. So we are an emissions analytics and software-based company. We started back up in 2018, and we formed out of Canada's largest emissions research lab. Believe it or not, based out on the East Coast from Santa Fe University. And so our vision is to provide leading global enterprise software to optimize emissions-related decisions, management, and disclosure. So we kind of equate this to a QuickBooks for emissions, to give an example. And for those who aren't familiar with the space of methane emissions, methane is a really potent greenhouse gas. So it's about 80 times more powerful in warming potential than carbon dioxide. So it's really a low-hanging fruit when we think about mitigating climate change. And just last year, there was brand new regulations that swept across Canada and require the oil and gas sector, which is the largest contributor to methane from an industrial level in Canada, and actually requires the sector to start carrying, measuring, tracking, and reporting all of this. But it's really complex because methane is a colorless, odorless gas. There's new ESG pressures, new regulations, new technologies. The data issue is always going to be there, trying to encourage digital transformation for these companies. There's a lot of difficult challenges in this area. And so we've built a software product that is really meant to optimize how companies manage this new pain point and build in simulation models, build in technology evaluation tools, and really optimize the whole program for efficiency reductions and costs. And so here's just a quick image edit. One of our features helped save companies up to 40% on their actual management costs of all this, because we're able to link different technologies and different data sources to streamline how this is all managed internally. And really, we like to link this all the way up to ESG and tie it to a company's overall kind of corporate sustainability performance, and really make sure that they're able to tell a really good story and track all this important work that's being done. So that's a little bit of background on what we're doing at Arolytics. A couple updates from us. So right after Startup TNT, we were able to close our seed financing round with some of our amazing investors here, Startup TNT folks being one of them. And we did just last month also secure some funding from Sustainable Development Technology Canada. So that has been a really great support for us as well. And I think Startup TNT really got things snowballing for us. We were able to quite quickly close our round afterwards. And so that was just a really tremendous help last November. A big thing for us lately has been growth. That's, our board really that's been the main thing for us, is try and scale and build some more capability and start to, get the word out and really build our functionality at Arolytics. And so we've hired in the past couple months 4 people. Well, we've hired 6, 2 are coming on next week. These are the 4 that we just hired over the past couple of weeks. So we have some interns, we have a couple people on the marketing side, some new business development people. And then we also have 3 active job ads. So a little plug, if anyone knows anyone in these spaces, please reach out and check out our website for those job ads. Pardon?
Nice, Liz. Hey, awesome update. You know what? I want to ask you a question that someone posed to us recently that's one of the current participating entrepreneurs. What are you doing to sort of identify and attract quality people for your board, either board of advisors or board of directors? I see you listed a couple of new people joining the board. What's your approach to that? What's working well for you in doing that, Liz?
Sure. So when we closed our round, that was the first time we formalized a board of directors. And so we just brought on some of our investors, and we actually, those are what, like, Gideon is from TNT and was one of the investors involved in that process. In terms of our advisory board, that's something we've it's been a challenge to figure out how to manage that, because we have lots of kind of informal advisors, and we have like weekly meetings, monthly meetings. It's really difficult to know, like, how do we actually formalize this and make it effective? And so just today we had a board meeting, and we figured out that we're going to try and make silos of like product, business, and more like investment and financing, and try and group advisors based in those silos instead of just doing these one-off meetings and them taking over our schedule. So trying to be a bit more strategic around that.
Nice. And what about maintaining your company culture? You got 6 new hires. How's that going? How's that feeling for you?
Yeah, I think that's it felt surreal last week when we had our first call with all these faces on the Zoom and everyone met each other. And it's fun because we're actually all spread across Canada, remote work. We have people in Montreal, Toronto, Halifax, and so we try and just do little events to connect us all. We tried to share personal stories when we met. I think that's really important, is to not all have it so work. I like it for people to actually try and connect with each other on more of a personal level when you're working with your coworkers.
Okay, I didn't tell you guys I was going to ask these questions, but that's okay. What any words of wisdom for current participating entrepreneurs? What's your general thoughts on, like, just kind of enjoying the process, getting the most value out of this process they're in now, talking to investors and trying to figure out how to grow their business?
Yeah, I'd say I think the due diligence process going through Startup TNT, that is so worth it, because it doesn't just make you be prepared for the competition itself, but it'll be advantageous for any other investor you talk with. So that kind of really sets the bar and really helps strengthen that data room. And that was useful for us in actually closing our full round. So I think it's work with the people are on your team, they're on your side, and just try and work with them and get the most out of
it. The team at Arolytics had one of the most well-organized and responsive data rooms I've ever witnessed. So hats off to you. Very good job on that.
I appreciate it.
All right. Hope you can stick around for the happy hour after. Let's take on the next guest, who is Pierre from Neuraura. Pierre, what language are you be speaking to us today? French or English?
Français, bien sûr. No, actually, I don't think I could talk to you in French. I don't have the vocabulary for that anymore. I'm kidding.
Can't explain your own business in French anymore.
I'll be struggling. So I'm not as prepared as Liz, so I don't have nice slides to show. But quick background about what we do for the new one who listen to us. So we are focusing on mapping patients' brain. So what we are doing is that we are providing neurologists and neurosurgeons with data that they can read and understand when they are facing patients. We are talking about patients that we are all affected by those very well-known disease like Parkinson's, epilepsy, dementia, addiction, depression. We all know some people like that. And the problem those doctors have today is that they face those patients, they have tools to capture data, and they capture those data, and then they're like, and now what? Like, what does that actually tells me? So they're gonna try medication, they're gonna try surgery, but they never have the confidence they need to actually, know that it's gonna work. And so that's what we provide. We build a brain monitoring platform that is composed of intracranial electrodes. So these electrodes are going inside the brain for a minimally invasive surgery. They record activity, they transfer everything to the cloud thanks to an EEG system. And then we have a software component that does the mapping and the visualization of the data. Down the line, the strategy and the long-term vision of the company is that actually we use those data to personalize neuromodulation. And that's where it becomes very exciting, is because neuromodulation is actually the fastest growing field in medical devices. So, think about a pacemaker but for the brain. But it's kind of plateauing today in terms of number of implantation they do. And it's mainly because, again, they don't really know where to put the electrodes today. And so our maps will allow them to increase the numbers of surgery and increase the numbers of patients getting the right implantations. So, thinking about Medtronic, Boston Scientific, and all these major leaders, we are filling a gap to allow them to excel at what they're doing. So that's what we do. Now, since the last time we talked, so many things that have happened. You've talked about culture, Zach. For us, there has been a cultural shift that has happened over the last few months. This has happened with some new hires we have done. We have more seniorities, and it will help us focus more on product development and have more process oriented. And then the implementation of our quality management system, which for a medical device company like us is so critical. It's the thing that in the extremely high level of regulation we live in for medical devices, that's the thing that FDA or Health Canada will slap your fingers if you don't have that done correctly. So the earlier you start it, the better, and it's impacting positively our culture and our teams. Now the other thing that we are pushing quite hard on is a large animal study. So we have demonstrated that our technology works in a small animal, but we need to do a large animal study to then submit our application to FDA. And so we are doing that in partnership with the Bionic Institute in Australia. So the development of the electrode with them has started. They have already solved a lot of the problem that we couldn't solve here internally in Calgary because we didn't have the tools for that. And the implementation is on schedule for starting in July. So we are super excited to get the first ships implanted in July. I promise I won't do a video like Elon Musk with the pigs, even though I really, really want to do one. My team told me I was not allowed to.
We like to invest in honest entrepreneurs, so great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's for the animal study. We are super excited by that because that's going to be very pivotal for us. And I will say the last thing as well in terms of update is we are doing a seed round of financing. It's a $3.5 million round, and that is led by a Profound Venture. It's a fund in California where there are impact investors, healthcare investors, and they have this model where they get experts in the field to invest in the company. So over the last few months, I've been talking to probably around 50 to 70 neurologists and neurosurgeons in the US. And it's just super exciting to see how excited they are about what we are doing. I haven't had a doctor saying Pierre, that's a stupid idea. And in fact, we have people that love what we're doing, not only in epilepsy, but I will say 80% of the doctors are outside epilepsy. They are with migraines, they are with PTSD, they are in a psychiatry, and they see the need of electrode in our platform for other conditions than epilepsy, and they want to invest in our company. And so seeing this great feedback is amazing. But what we have also figured out is that those doctors are often connected with device manufacturers. Some of those devices manufacturers we got introduced to, and now we are talking to them. And so we, those are the people that you definitely want to have at your table at the next round of financing or early on in conversation for potential acquisition one day. So that's super exciting.
That's amazing. Those are some amazing updates, Pierre. So how'd you get connected in with Profound Ventures?
So we actually, we have been very opportunistic in joining the accelerator program, and we tapped into the CTA program, so the Canadian Technology Accelerators. We did both, the one in San Francisco that is specialized in life science, and then the one in Boston, which is also on life science. They do a lot of things there, but obviously a strong stream in life science. And the one in San Francisco, we had one of our advisors who knew one of the partners that fund there, and that's how we got connected to. So, by the way, for anyone listening, Canadian Technology Accelerators, I highly recommend them. Highly recommend them. It's just amazing.
Okay, awesome, Pierre. Why don't we leave it there? I don't want to spend. Well, I like to try and get us to the happy hour as soon as possible, but this is a great update. Although, listen, it just came to my attention that, Liz, we cut you off prematurely. I think someone, I don't want to name names, Chris, interrupted your talk, and you had a few more things to share with us. Liz, can we go back to you? Is that okay?
Just my plug, if there's any software developers out there, and there's just, there's always so much going on, and
oh, now we're having technical problems.
I have the same problem. When I get too excited, sometimes my Zoom freeze.
Liz, wait, I'm sorry. Liz, we're gonna have to come back to you. We're having technical issues. Is that just me or is everyone seeing technical issues with Liz?
Same here, yeah.
Okay, Liz, I'm sorry. We're gonna come back. We're gonna
Folks,
do
if
your
you-
last update at the end. I'm sorry. We had technical problems, Liz. We're gonna come back to it at the end. I'm really sorry about that. Anyways, Pierre, great update. Next up, we have Jana, who actually has some really exciting news to share. She just talked about it on LinkedIn, just fully closed her $1.6 million round. So really awesome to hear that, Jana. Congratulations, big celebration.
Thanks.
And we'll hand it over to you.
Awesome. Okay, so I have a few slides I'm going to share here with everyone. And for those of you who don't know TrueAngle, we're a health tech company, and our mission is to improve lives through smarter technology that gives people meaningful health insights and creates connections. And our first step into that mission is around dysphagia. So if you're a clinician, dysphagia is going to mean a swallowing disorder. But you're for a patient, it's going to mean coughing and choking and being embarrassed at meals or terrified at meals. So there are ways to improve this problem, and they kind of look like this, which are really, not really great. Huge machines that are stuck in the clinic, or paper pencil exercises that are sent home with patients. And we thought that patients deserve better than that. And so we developed a technology that looks like this. There's a small sensor worn under the chin. It connects, it gives biofeedback about what your muscles are doing while you're doing your swallowing exercises, and you get biofeedback on your phone. Helps patients figure out what they're supposed to be doing. And as you can see, this lady in the picture, she's really so happy while she's sitting at home doing her exercises, which means she doesn't have to go into a clinic every day for weeks on end. So we were really grateful to be part of Startup TNT in November, and that really started things off for us. It opened the door for our round. It really allowed us to, like Liz said, dig into our data room, get that in order, work with investors, and as well work with new investors. So and as Zach said, we just closed our, it was a $1.5 million round. We were oversubscribed, and we were excited about all the investors who came in: Accelerate Fund, Birchcliff, the 51, Thin Air, Women at the Cap Table, Aeonian, as well as some angels who came in as well. And what that has allowed us to do, and what we're going to keep on doing, is expanding our team. So the folks who are circled in yellow here are new to our team, and they really relate to our business development around sales and marketing. And it's been really fantastic to have them on board. And as a testament to what we're seeing is, at the beginning, when we started off, when we first did our pitch at Startup TNT, our sales have increased over the last quarter by 77%. And now halfway through this quarter, we're up another 35% over that 77%. So we're pretty excited about what's happening in the market. A couple of things that we've been doing that were really great. We had an innovation partnership program where we were testing out this B2B pathway. Our business model when we launched was B2C. So we wanted to test out this pathway. That first program went really well. It's resulted in officially, we have a PO from Stanford for our first enterprise sale. So we're pretty excited about that. We are now have launched our second innovation partnership program, and the intention of that is going to be to test out some of these market hypotheses that we gathered in the first program. And we have some really fantastic centers on board. These are the 5 that we're going to be working with over the next few weeks in this program. And what's really nice is that from a couple of these, we also have developed, they'll be doing some research work with us as well. So we will have some arm's length research going on, which is also very exciting for us. We're continuing working on industry partnerships. So we've been meeting on a weekly basis with Varian, which is most recently a Siemens Healthineers company. And we're working on looking at potential go-to-market strategies as we have common customers, and they are a really large partner, and they'd be a really fantastic software distribution partner. So that's the quick update there from TrueAngle. It's been exciting.
That's incredible news, Jana. Congratulations again. It's awesome to see you raise money from quite a few different groups. Were they all from Alberta? Are all those groups Alberta investors that you put on that slide? That's
They
amazing.
were all Alberta. I talked to, across Canada, talked down into the States, but really it was the Alberta folks who came through on this round.
Yeah, awesome. So a couple of you have similar stories, raising money from the local investors. Um, Janet, tell us a little bit about what it's like for you right now, running this, being a full-time professor. Are you able to juggle both of those, or like at what point are you all in on Triangle, or you have to hire someone new to start running it? What's that look like for you?
Yeah, great question. Interesting question that I get asked. I mean, I'm all in on True Angle. I mean, probably 150% of work is on True Angle. But the great thing and the relationship that I have with the university is that they understand that this is part of what I'm doing. They understand that my research essentially has moved from a lab to a company. And so that's a pretty exciting thing. It's a new frontier to be forging, to be honest with you, but it's really an exciting one. So, I'm all in with this, and no question about that. So,
Buzzer.
time.
I'm just kidding. No, I want one last question.
Yeah.
Since you're a medical device company, a little bit different from some other companies, tell us a little bit about what you think like the long-term trajectory is for this business in terms of, do you think it's going to be acquired in a couple of years? Do you think it's going to grow for a long ways? At what point do you think another medical device company would acquire you?
I mean, our intention is that there would be an acquisition. And as we look ahead, some of the other verticals that we see are things around like flexible technologies. We've got this nice athletic sleeve here, and we have a proprietary printing process to put sensors onto other types of textiles and sense a whole bunch of different things. So like I said, our first step into this is dysphagia. We're going to get it right with dysphagia. We're going to build out the software that we need to build out for these IoT devices. But we have lots of these other things in mind. And I think that's the kind of company that a larger partner, industry partner would be, who's in that world, would be pretty excited about.
Yeah, the underlying technology could
Yeah.
be applied to a bunch of other cool applications.
Yep. Yep.
That impact the world in a very positive way.
Yeah.
All right, awesome, Jana. Okay, I think we're gonna move along to our next speaker, who is Alex from Your Arbor. Is it Arbor or Your Arbor?
The official company name is Your Arbor, but we go by Arbor because if you
Someone
name yourself
Arbor.
if you incorporate as Arbor, there's like all these millions of Arbors, so it's just like, yeah, you don't want to deal with that.
Okay, what's new and improved at Arbor? It's been 6 months or so since the last summit. What's going on, Alex?
Yeah, like a lot of stuff. I'll explain kind of what Arbor is. So I have just like a slide that I'll show you guys. So basically, what Arbor is we help people shop sustainably as simple as possible. And that can be people, companies, whatever. It's an everyday consumer trying to buy a shoe, or like a company trying to make their supply chain more ethical and responsible. The way we do that is through 3 different ways. So the first way that we started was a browser extension. So essentially, like, you would just click on a company. It would show you how well aligned you are to that company, depending on your own personal values, whether you care about community relations, compensation, emissions, whatever it is. And then it would suggest alternatives. From there, we expanded to values-based shopping marketplace. I wish I could show it to you, but I know my CTO would get pissed if I did. So it'll be still a secret for a little bit. But basically what it does is that each product is showcased with data. So you can see if it's eco-friendly or organic and how well it aligns to your values. But the cool thing is that you can click on a value that you, let's say, support, whether it be cruelty-free or whatever, child labor-free, and it'll customize the entire storefront to be basically verified data on products that align with those values. And then the third way is our data set. So we have a unified data API that scrapes data across the world when it comes to like environmental and societal data, supply chain, and consumer data on how market trends and decision making and stuff like that. And yeah, those are the three main ways that we do this. The cool thing is for us, so when we wrapped up with Startup TNT in November, that was kind of like the start of our raise. Ended up getting around almost $800,000 quickly by like beginning of January. Since then, we went from 6 people to 14, which is like a mix of like interns and like full-time people. We have some like honestly, the people we have on our team, we don't deserve them. That's basically how I put it. Is like they're so smart and like so capable that like I don't have to do anything. Everyone just makes me look good. Yeah, and like since then we've also been working on 2 partnerships with like massive industry titans. So I can't name them just yet because it's not like official yet. But one of them is an entity that services over 400 million customers. So you can quickly kind of see what the opportunity there is. And right now, actually, we are working on our Series A raise, which is going to be like pretty massive. I was literally just working on the pitch deck last night till really late. We're trying to get quite a big amount of money. So, and we're very confident that we can get it, which is really exciting. Like we've been approached by on the daily. I get the weird thing is like before I was sending emails to firms for money, and now it's the other way around. Like they're sending me emails being like, hey, you want to like check out our like let's talk for 30 minutes. We'll sell you on why you should join us. And like I'm not used to that. Before it was like me trying to sell them on why they should give us money.
That's amazing. So where are these firms hearing about you? Wait, before I interrupt, is that the end? Do you have any other updates? I don't want to interrupt you, cut you off.
That's all I can think of right now.
Okay, well, that's a great update. That's a great update, Alex. Very impressive stuff. 2 big partnerships, looking at a new fundraise, awesome team, better than you could ever imagine. How are these investors finding you? What's your secret sauce for that?
A lot of it is so through our like profiles that we've made on like Crunchbase, Playbook, I think it's PitchBook. A lot of these places are just kind of searching us up and finding us. And right now we're just in this like very hot market. Like sustainability is just like there's money being thrown into it like left and right. And so when people find plays like ours, it aligns with their mandates. It makes it really easy for them to find us. Even like a firm like Accel, they're ACCEL. So they're a San Francisco-based firm. I thought it was a scam at first, honestly, and then I looked them up, and their portfolio is basically like Facebook, Slack, Spotify, like Bumble, like literally every single company you can think of. And I met with them, and they really liked what we were doing, just like keeping in touch and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like most of them are finding us through Crunchbase and stuff like that.
Alex, I'm going to ask one last question, which is, you do a monthly update. What's your approach to your monthly updates for your investors? I think you do a relatively simple, but quite high quality monthly update for the investors. Tell us about like your approach to that.
I speak like it's almost like we're having a conversation one-on-one, and then I lay it out. Some people have told me to give like a shorter, but like if you're an investor, I feel like most people, they just want to know exactly what's going on and they love the content updates. So I basically like make it as descriptive as I can, and make it like I try to make it energetic and entertaining so that people can actually like enjoy reading it. I really like. It makes it easy for me because every single month there's like crazy stuff happening. Like there's awesome things nonstop. And like, I'm not making it up. Like there was the one month where we got to interview on Dragon's Den. Like that was pretty sweet. Like the producers interviewed us and stuff like that. I think they've put it on hold because of the COVID situation in Ontario right now. But like, I'm still looking for that call back.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to do something a little unorthodox we don't usually do. Jana, I want to ask both Jana and Alex sort of a common question because you both have a common investor among you, Thin Air Labs. Really cool. How's the relationship with Thin Air Labs? Great group out of Calgary. Two of you guys raised money for it. What's that been like for you, Alex? And then maybe we'll let Jana answer that question too.
Thin Air has been like monumental in us being able to understand how to even just like look at creating a company and how to be effective and efficient, and also like on the product development side, like really when it comes to what we're doing, it's all about data, and it's two-sided. Like the data set that you can acquire on, like sustainability, and the data set that you can acquire of understanding your customer and your target market and all stuff like that. Like the data that we were collecting before that was like basically non-existent on understanding our market. After working with them side by side, like we have dashboards that basically tell you like what each person who like comes to our website, where they're from, like what they like, all these things. And then it's just like, it makes it so easy to target people afterwards. And we would have not have been able to get to that point so quickly if it weren't for people at Thin Air.
Amazing. Okay. So a lot more than just money, sounds is what you're telling us, to summarize. Jana, I know you just received your investment from Thin Air Labs, but anything to elaborate on Alex's points on your experience?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we actually also had their support before this round because James Lockery was an investor with us before. So yeah, they are amazing. They have, again, provided more than just financial assistance. It's all about support. They've helped us with product development strategy as well. They've got a group helping with finding non-dilutive funding for companies, which is really fantastic. Man, I can tell you, I don't miss writing grants. So love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I saw them advertising that service. That's a very cool thing. So you're using that. Very nice. Well, another fun thing that happened during your presentation, Jana, was Ted Powers. It gave like a live testimonial. And I don't know if everyone knows this, but Ted Powers then joined our group as an investor. So very, very cool. Okay, let's end it there for you guys, and let's let Chris Lerohl come on and give us his formal pitch. Chris is ready to raise more money, and he's ready to do a proper Series A. We're all here to be his guinea pig and give him some feedback. So Chris, take it over. Let's do this, man.
Thanks, Zach. Yeah, I don't know if it's fully ready to launch the Series A, but hopefully in a couple of weeks. I've been similar to Alex, been working kind of around the clock to get this deck ready. So appreciate being here, and would love any kind of feedback. And I think at this point this isn't a final version, but I'm excited. And I think it's a good way for me to give a bit of an update, because I think we've really discovered who we've been or who we are over the last year, and have had a pretty significant pivot. So Uproot Food is a platform to maximize a food brand's potential without compromise. And we started in the farmers market, and really we know our customer base is from all walks of life, but really what links them is that people that have a passion for food and also have a passion for local and supporting their community. And actually there's 60,000 specialty food companies in North America that are in the same boat, and they're actually struggling to reach their customers. Despite this, the food industry, the specialty food industry, is actually massive and growing 3 times faster than traditional retail, with many consumers leaving big grocery or looking for alternatives every day. But the problem is that retail grocery can't support food innovation. Their infrastructure, their systems, their processes, everything is built for uniformity and low price. And as a result, product integrity suffers, product quality suffers. And the shelves are really full of products people don't want because legacy producers own and control those shelf space. So ultimately, premium innovative foods, or those local quality foods made by passionate entrepreneurs, don't really fit in the grocery model. Now, kind of stepping back in our journey, well, we know that it's actually pretty easy to start a food company. But it's really when you get to scaling that's difficult. Within the current retail paradigm, a company starts in the farmer's market. It's easy. It's lots of cash coming in. It was the most money we ever made, actually. Our most profit we ever made was in the farmer's market days, because there was no overhead. But then you get these starry eyes and you're like, hey, I got something that works. And so you're like, I'm going to get in the niche grocery stores. And you start getting in them, and you get a facility you start investing in packaging and branding and build a team and get some equipment, and you just start losing money. And then you're like, well, I'm going to get bigger. And so I'm going to get in the regional kind of market and get in in with the big retailers. And so for that, they want you to have a HACCP food safety program. So you spend even more money, and it's tens of thousands of dollars in a year to set that up. And then you need distribution, and you lose more money, and you get a broker and you lose more money, and you just keep losing more and more money the further you go, all with this starry eye to become this big national unicorn brand. And then you start having success there. So you're like, okay, we need to raise more money, and we're going to get bigger and bigger. And so you develop a CFIA facility. You get a broker, distributor, you buy into the promos, the marketing. And all you end up doing is losing even more money even faster. And all where only 10% of the companies succeed. Something's wrong with the current retail paradigm. And so we started to ask ourselves, is there a business model that could enable a passionate food entrepreneur to remain profitable without actually being a unicorn? Could we help them find an equilibrium in the market? What would the music industry be without iTunes, without SoundCloud, without all those other tools? There would be a lot less music in the world if the only thing we heard were hit songs. So Uproot is that platform for success at any scale. And our goal is to maximize brand potential without compromise, recognizing that not everyone is going to be a unicorn. And we believe that we can change the grocery paradigm by getting food that customers actually love, helping food companies to actually reach their potential, their equilibrium, what customers actually want. And we do this in a way by building a community of food companies and doing it in a way that makes sense for them, because we know what it is, because we are a food company. And over the last year, it's really truly been validated where we've generated 1.2 million in our first 12 months in our direct-to-consumer model and gained over 6,000 customers in Alberta alone. We now deliver 70 brands and reach 85% of the population of Alberta. And we have 3 amazing award-winning brands, Honest Dumpling, South Island Pie, and Natural Kitchen Delights, that really help drive the profitability and margin and exemplify what we're trying to achieve. And all of this we've done really through self-funded customer acquisition. And we've seen anywhere from 25 to 50% quarterly, or to 70% quarterly growth, all within this time, all self-funded. And so now we're out there to raise our Series A, and we're really looking to fund that scalable direct-to-consumer model to expand our distribution of more brands to more customers nationally, and to increase our manufacturing capability to take this national. Further to that, we want to expand our team and then further develop the technology that's enabling all of this to happen. And right now, the timing is better than ever. There was recently an IPO of Spud through Fresh Local, the Very Good Butchers, and then on the food side, Smart Sweets, Nabati. On the distribution side, Gold Belly. There's tons of play and exciting action happening in the food space right now, and we want to be a part of that. But ultimately, what it comes down to is that we believe that Uproot can change the grocery paradigm, and that there's strength in numbers with these food companies, and that together we have the power to provide customers what they want and to flip the whole industry on its head. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Well done, Chris. Hey, my initial reaction, I wrote down a couple of thoughts. I might actually ask the other entrepreneurs if you guys want to give your thoughts. It was personal. Your slides were simple. I've seen different versions of your slide deck. This was probably the simplest one I've seen, which I really liked. And honestly, there was a couple of moments there where you kind of challenged us all to think about it. And I could imagine a VC investor from your space, I think, would have a bit of a different reaction than me, but maybe can relate to more closely with some of the things you're talking about. But overall, I thought it was very positive. Anyone else? I'm just going to open up to the floor. Anyone else want to comment on Chris's pitch?
And I know this isn't really what the forum's for, but I might as well use it.
We make it what we want here at TNT, Chris. We make it what we want.
That was awesome, Chris. I really like that one graph showing the losing money. That really outlined the pain point in a kind of a fun way. So
I've lived it. I'm sure we all have. I think that valley of death is applicable across all of our sectors. But.
Yeah. So the one comment I have that I think you might have this slide, but you didn't share it, which is fine, is like, where you're going. That was like the only thing that I thought was missing. Like, you're raising money now, and then where does this take us to over the next 12 or 24 months or 5 years, whatever it is. But I wasn't sure if that slide was in the end, or maybe that's one slide you could add.
Yeah, I think we have some stuff that I kind of didn't include, but maybe we need to, that's a good point. Maybe we need to articulate what the kind of little bit better where we're going with this. So
yeah. And then also, just like on the personal note, you did raise some money from angel investors. You didn't do it totally bootstrapped. Give us a little bit of credit, Chris.
Yeah. Well, that was I know for sure that money came in January. I guess it shored up a hole. but the vast majority of growth was for the last year, and yeah, we did raise 150 in capital in the last round, or 200 in capital, and that was instrumental in funneling this growth. And one of the challenges as a food company is that we're very heavy in inventory, and even that alone we've increased by, like, in the last 6 months by $350K in inventory. So a lot of that money gets tied up in inventory. And I think that the customer acquisition is really has been more organic in what we've done. So.
Okay, let's end it here. I think we're over time already. I always tell people we're gonna end at 6:30. It's 6:45 already. Before we end, I want to do two things. First one is I want to give my own personal ode to our alumni. Just thinking back on your live pitches, here's some things that strike out to me. Jana, I sort of already mentioned this. You had a customer give a live testimonial during the event. I'd never seen that done before. In fact, I think you were showing them on the screen, and they were texting in the Zoom chat at the same time. Someone named Ted Powers, who's now actually invested quite a bit of money with us at TNT. Great guy. Alex, you gave a live demo that was more or less demonstrating an answer to questions that were being posed in the chat at the same time. That was one of the most incredible things I ever witnessed. Chris, you hosted another Calgary guy in the food business at your event, and you guys both pitched from the same location. That's the type of camaraderie TNT is all about. Pierre gave us a live testimonial at the very end saying, I just want to let everyone know that I love this freaking event. Great job. Made me feel really good, Pierre. Thank you so much for that. And Liz raised, I know the most money of any TNT company in history from Startup TNT and as an individual investment from one of the investors. So all kinds of cool historic firsts that happened at the Fall Investment Summit from these alumni. And Liz, can we give you one last chance to do that final update without the technical challenges? Let's make this happen.
Oh gosh, now the pressure's on. Okay. No, there's just, a couple slides cut out there. I was just going to say a couple of really exciting things on the pilot front. I think when we pitched at Startup TNT, we were just about to secure some pilots. Like, there wasn't anything. It was very in motion. And since then, we've been able to, get the contracts, the paid pilots signed. They're underway right now. One of them is with Canada's second largest oil and gas producer. So that's been going really great. And one super exciting thing for us is that their methane regulations federally. So that is a massive market driver and market pull kind of for us, that now it's going to be regulated and required to start managing this a bit more carefully. So
that's amazing.
Thumbs up for
I know that a lot of the DD conversation that everybody was really impressed with, Liz, was that you already had lots of either public or private testimonials from some of the top oil and gas producers in the field. So in some ways, we're not surprised. This is the progress we were expecting, Liz. Awesome. Keep it going. And really awesome evening. Thanks, everybody. I think we'll end it here. And I hope everybody can join us at the happy hour. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Spring Summit, June 17th. Join us for that.
Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, thanks, Zach.